In this tutorial, I'll teach you how to set up and create a time-lapse using Pinnacle Studio. This tutorial will provide you with the basics of time-lapse photography and show you how to convert a series of photos into a time-lapse video. I'll also show you how to use the auto capture feature to automatically capture photos at the intervals of your choice once you set up your camera within Pinnacle Studio. Before we get started, if you're watching this video on YouTube, you'll find a link in the description below that will take you to our tutorial page on the Discovery Center. Here you can download a written copy of this tutorial to follow along. Now let's get started. I have Pinnacle Studio opened up and I'm going to click on the Import tab to show you how to auto capture photos for your time-lapse video if you don't already have the photos taken. Make sure to click on the Stop Motion tab. The first thing I'm going to do is make sure my camera is connected to my computer and select my camera from the drop-down menu above the preview pane. Once it's connected, you'll see a live preview of what the camera is capturing in the preview pane. On the left, you can set up your project settings to save your captured photos. I'll change my project name to City View. And then select a folder where you want to save your captured photos to. Next, I'll click on the Auto Capture icon to turn it on. Now click on the arrow on the right of the icon to adjust the Auto Capture settings. This is an important step because before you begin capturing, you'll want to determine how long you want your time-lapse to be so you know how many photos you'll need to capture. If you want 25 seconds of sunset footage and you're shooting at 30 frames per second, you'll need 750 photos or frames to be captured, because 25 seconds times 30 frames each second equals 750 photos. Next, you need to select the interval between each photo. The less time between each photo, the smoother the time-lapse will appear. So if I was recording this sunset over a span of 3 hours, I divide the total recording time in seconds by the number of photos, which means my capture interval would be every 14.4 seconds. I want to demonstrate this to you quickly, so here I'll adjust the capture interval, which sets the time interval between each image captured, to every 3 seconds. Now I'll set the duration, which is the length of time I want auto capture to run for, to 15 seconds. Then click OK. Now I'll click Capture Frame to start the auto capture. And you'll see that every 3 seconds an image has been automatically captured. And I can preview these images by hovering on the thumbnails at the bottom. Once you're finished capturing all the images, you can click Import to Library and they'll import to the folder location you've selected. So now that I have all my images captured, I'm ready to create my time-lapse video. I'll click on the Edit tab in Pinnacle Studio, and now I want to import them into a new project bin. So I'll click on the Project Bin icon, then New Project Bin. I'll name it City Time-lapse, and click OK. Then click on Quick Import and find my images, and I'll hold down Ctrl on my keyboard and press A to select all the images in the folder. Then press Open. Now the images will take some time to import into the project bin. Once the photos have all been imported, we'll make sure to highlight all of them in the project bin again by holding down the Control key on your keyboard and pressing A. Then drag all these images onto AV Track 2 on the timeline. As you can see, this will create quite a long video since these photos will have an automatic duration length once they're on your timeline based on your default settings. But for the purpose of this video, I want the duration of each photo to be 1 frame long, not 3 seconds long. Before we adjust the duration of the photos, make sure you're in Smart Editing mode so that you won't need to close all the gaps after we adjust the photo duration. So with all of these photos on my timeline still selected, I'm going to right-click on one of the photos and select Adjust Duration, and change this from 3 seconds to 1 single frame. I'll give this a few minutes to finish rendering since there are 808 photos in total. Now you can see that my video length is around 33 seconds. One thing you'll notice is that these images have a black border on either side, and I don't want to include that in my final video. So I'm going to zoom up with the ruler zooming so I can see these images individually on my timeline. Now I'll right-click on the first image and click on Open Effects Editor. Then I'll click on Crop and make sure that the aspect ratio has been selected to 16:9. Then I'll drag on the edges of the box and reposition it so that I no longer see the black borders. Then click Apply and then OK. Now you can see by the green bar above the clip on the timeline that an effect has been added. But now we need to copy this effect to all the other images on the timeline. To do this, I'll hover my cursor over the green bar until I see FX pop up. Then I'll right-click and select Corrections. Then click Copy All. Now I'll highlight all of the image clips on the timeline and right-click on one of them. Then click Paste. A dialog box will pop up asking if you want to apply the copied attributes to all of the clips. Select OK. Now we can preview our video and you'll see we have a really cool time-lapse video of the city from day to night that I'm ready to export and share. If you're watching this video on YouTube, you'll find a link in the description below that will take you to our tutorial page on the Discovery Center. Here you can download a written copy of this tutorial to follow along and find other helpful tutorials for Pinnacle Studio.